Cloud computing services, there's been certainly a lot of talk about them in the past few years, and a number of enterprises have started to move to these particular types of services. However, Lydia Leong, an analyst at the Gartner Group, says that enterprises really should be leery about some of these particular services. The problem she has found is that the service level agreements, basically the contracts that outline what providers have to provide to enterprises, are heavily weighted towards the vendors and end up in situations or scenarios where they have little or no use to different types of customers. She cited a few companies like Amazon as well as Hewlett Packard as having service level agreements that were not very helpful or not very conducive to enterprise businesses. SLAs can be constructed and some of the downtime computed in a variety of different types of fashions. Obviously, if you're a customer or an enterprise, what you're going to look at is the impact of the downtime and in whatever duration it may occur in, as well as its impact on your particular business. The vendors basically have taken some of those numbers and are in a situation where they extrapolate them over long time periods, so consequently it looks like their service is providing high availability, but an enterprise could have a significant amount of downtime. Also, the way that the vendors have constructed their data centers and deliver their services is an area that can create some problems or some challenges for enterprises. Computing types of functions are split among a number of different types of data centers or a number of different places, and depending on how the contracts are set up, in some cases, some instances, the overall effect of downtime for a company will not be noted in some cases or some instances with the way that the contracts are structured. And finally, they don't really cover block services, which basically means having access to your data. Obviously, that's the most important component and most important element for a lot of the customers, and therefore the one that the vendors, and in some cases, in some instances, are trying to protect themselves with. The reality is that there have been a number of outages with some different cloud services during the past year, and that has obviously caused some downtime for customers who are using these services. Cloud services are starting to become a little bit more enterprise ready or enterprise focused. Vendors like IBM, for example, are in a position where they're trying to deliver services that are going to be more in line with the traditional uptime that large enterprises have become used to. But if you are a company, especially a larger company, and you're thinking of moving some of your applications or some of your services out to the cloud, you should be a little bit leery, because the chances are not only is there a possibility that there will be some downtime with those services, but also, unfortunately, the fact that you aren't going to really get any reimbursement or be covered for that downtime. So therefore, in some cases or some instances, it's a lose-lose situation for an enterprise rather than the win-win type of scenario that cloud providers typically portray their services as.